under a license.
He does not.
Right now I'm in private practice, I'm saying. And that's what people don't understand, right? So just to educate some folks a little bit.
Hello, my name is Dr. Rekha Martin. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist, professor of sciences, and podcast host who specializes in Black health and well-being. And I want to break down a clip from the Joe Budden podcast featuring someone who presents herself as Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. But before we dive in, I want to make something incredibly clear. Having a doctor does not mean someone is a licensed mental health professional.
Didn't think I'd catch that now, did you?
You can have a doctorate in literature and be unlicensed, and you are still a doctor. You can have a doctorate in education and hold an LPC, being a licensed professional counselor, and you are a licensed mental health professional, and you are still a doctor, but your doctorate is not in psychology. When evaluating anyone's credentials, it's really critical to look at two things: what their doctorate is actually in, and whether they hold a relevant clinical license. In this case, the person you're about to hear from is unlicensed. In this case, the person you're about to hear from is unlicensed.
Got your ass.
Members of the jury, hearken to your verdict as the court has recorded it. Upon your oath, you say that the defendant is not guilty of the count of strangulation or suffocation and not guilty of the count of assault and battery.
Lock her up! Lock her up!
This statement, appearing in the op-ed entitled "A Transformative Moment for Women" in the Washington Post print edition, and the online op-ed, "Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change," in the Washington Post online edition. Quote, "Then 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out," end quote. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes.
This is the kind of bullshit you get when you do not hold women accountable.
Listen, once I do the suddenly got beat up, in the shoulder.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Love, Life, and the Game, where love is what it's supposed to be, life is what happens, and the game is what's being played. It's your boy Love coming at you guys with another reaction video. And look, man, you guys saw the clips in the beginning. We got to talk about this lack of accountability for women, for modern day women. This is really sad, especially what is happening to a lot of men out here. I mean, you guys saw, I'm sure everybody's heard about, the Stefon Diggs case. This is just the latest in a long line of instances and examples of men, high value men, high status men who have been falsely accused, whether it's abuse, whether it's sexual assault, whether it's cheating, all of these things. And, time and time again, we're seeing that a lot of these cases, the men are innocent. They're not guilty. And the sad part about it is that even though they've proven themselves to not be guilty, they still have that, that stain in the court of public opinion. And in the vast majority of these cases, the women are suffering, no accountability whatsoever, no jail time. They're not being punished at all. At best, they get a slap on the wrist. Well, today I'm going to focus, mainly on this whole story about Cheyenne Bryant. I'm not going to call her Dr. Cheyenne Bryant because she's not a doctor. She doesn't have the credentials. She doesn't have the degree, but she's a self-proclaimed doctor. And she is going viral right now because she went on the Breakfast Club and, she got pissed off because, she's getting tired of being questioned about, her credentials. Here's the funny thing, though, man. People that really have, people that have credentials, number one, rarely do they get questioned about their credentials. And number two, if they are questioned about their credentials, they can back the shit up because they actually have the paperwork to show their credentials.
I heard what you said. So would you take a high functioning man making $50,000 a year?
That wouldn't fit my lifestyle.
So you wouldn't take him?
Not because he makes $50,000.
This is a fantastic delusion.
Why?
Then it's because he makes $50,000.
passionate.
It's not the judgment of the dollar amount.
What
It's
is it?
because of where I'm at in my life.
And this woman calls herself a doctor.
A license is really only needed so you can bill insurance.
That is incredibly misleading. Yes, you do need a license to bill insurance, but that is not why licensure exists. Licensure protects you. It means I have completed specific education and supervised clinical hours, passed rigorous exams, and I'm accountable to a regulatory board.
Did you guys catch that? Now, let's just use common sense and logic, guys. If you had a brain tumor and you needed to go see a brain surgeon, are you going to let a self-proclaimed brain surgeon who does not have the billable hours, who does not have the degree, doesn't have the credentials to operate on you, are you going to let them perform brain surgery on you? Hell no. You know you're not. This is ridiculous. But this woman she's made a ton of money off of scamming people, claiming to be a doctor.
If I breach confidentiality, if I cross ethical boundaries or harm you, you have somewhere to file a complaint and be sure that I'm held accountable. A license is not paperwork just for billing. It's a consumer protection. When someone drops or loses or no longer has a license, they're not solely avoiding the insurance hassle. They're also removing your recourse if something goes terribly wrong.
What? Hold on. Calling Mr. Samuels. Kevin Samuels, where you at? Mr. Samuels, what would your response be to something like this?
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks, don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Y'all, this woman has only been able to get away with this shit because she's a woman. She's a pretty face, and this is another prime example of pretty privilege. Another example of just how much women are allowed to get away with shit. I want you to imagine if this was a man doing this. Do you think he would have got this far? Do you think he would have been able to do this for the amount of time that she has? He would be crucified, dragged all over the internet, and probably be in jail. But this woman, to this day, is still allowed to take advantage of people, pretending to be a doctor. You guys let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section, man. That's pretty much all I got, and I am out.